What's going on Facebook? Colton, Lindsay here, coming at you live on my Facebook channel. Excited to talk with you today about my friend Wayne Salmans. With my friend Wayne Salmans, we're going to be coming at you with a few different things. Let me find him real quick and invite him on. He's invited. As soon as he pops up, we're going to be talking about a few things. We're going to be talking about why and what happened to have him make a major shift from being in the coaching industry with a major coaching company for 5 years, and why he left and launched his own business, which is an amazing company that he's working on. We're going to talk about digital marketing. We're going to talk about the real estate market. We're going to talk about the economy. We're going to talk about who's going ahead in this industry, economy, and their business, and who's getting left behind and why people are getting left behind. As he's popping on, we're inviting him. Just want to remind you about the WGR Real Estate Sales Team here in Utah. Make sure to send us all your referrals for Utah buyers, sellers. We want to make sure that you guys get your clients taken care of. Any coaching and training, go to fearlessagent.com. If you want to look into joining my personal mastermind, Real Estate Hustlers. Wayne Salmans coming at you.
What's up, killer?
HeroNation Are you at the HeroNation Headquarters?
Dude, the one and the same. I'm gonna put my headphones in so I can hear you better. There we go.
Cool, man. I should probably put mine in too.
Dude, Matthew Smith is on with us. I mean, does it get? I don't think it gets better than that. I think we've reached the pinnacle.
We have reached the pinnacle. Kane Sanchez is up. I'm gonna plug this in.
I had no idea you could do this. This is awesome.
Dude, I just changed your world today, didn't I?
You did. And there we go.
Guess who changed my world with this?
Who? AJ?
Nope. Guess who knows social media more than anyone else? You and I both know him.
Ronnie Phillips.
Ronnie fucking Phillips.
Dude, I love that guy. So we're at a hockey game one time, me and Ronnie, and like the whole hockey game, we just sat there and he just educated me for like an hour and a half. And I was like, I don't even know what happened in the hockey game, but I think I got school.
Dude, I don't know what's up with him, but like all of a sudden I'll get like 23 messages on 23 different platforms, and they're all from him, dude.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we were chilling on the fire that night, and I look over and he's just like with his snap goggles.
Yeah, we're like, are you filming this right now? Like,
what is going on
right now? What is happening?
Matthew Smith, thanks for hopping on. Leo, do me a favor. If you like any of the content that I produce or any of the content that my friend Wayne produces, go ahead and click that share button right now. Click the share button and get it out there. And as you guys are hopping on, tell me in the comments where you're from, what industry you're in, and throw questions out as we rock and roll. So, Wayne, topics today, number one is, let's talk about you. You're, what are we, January, February, March, April, May, 4.5 months into the year. You launched you launched your coaching, life coaching training, and your whole business. Was it January?
Yeah, so like the middle of January was kind of like when we like went for this.
So you were working with another company, and I'm allowed to say it even if you're not, right? So he was working for MAPS Coaching. He was a bold coach, an amazing 5 years, I'm sure, experience learning from them. And why the change though? You were working with an amazing organization. Why did you just bounce?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, like here's the cool thing I think about the last 5 years, like no regrets. You know, like it was awesome. Being a bold coach and working for them was amazing, and it was exactly what I was supposed to be doing, right? To get that much time on task and work with 5,000 agents in a 5-year period is pretty dramatic. And yet it got to the point where like there had to be a shift. You know what I mean? And I remember, one night, I think I told you a story. I was tucking my son in bed. And like my little 4-year-old, and he looks up at me and he's like, Dad, tomorrow, are you just going to the office or are you going to get on a plane? And because he knows like a plane was like 4 or 5 days, away. And my heart just like broke, right? These eyes are all welling up and stuff. And I'm like, all right, we're done. Like something has to change right now. This is the moment. Here we go. So it was awesome. And yet I got to the point where I knew that if I kept doing that kind of, that kind of stuff for much longer, I was going to start paying a price that I wasn't willing to pay. And the effect was going to be bigger than I wanted. So. Yeah.
So take note, guys, is he made a choice based on nothing but lifestyle, right? And particularly you want to be with your family versus be on a jet plane.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what's funny is because for a long time I thought, like, dude, I want to go travel being a trainer, right? And as I started getting paid to do this and I started mentoring with people, I'm like, dude, this fucking sucks, man.
It
like,
sounds awesome until you start doing it. People are like, oh, you're going to travel the world, you're going to go everywhere. And I'm like, it's hotel rooms and conference rooms. Like, it is not sexy.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not.
Yeah. So as you guys are popping on, remember to put where you're from. We got a couple of real estate hustler mastermind partners on, so thanks for being here. Click the share button every step of the way.
Yes.
So you came in, you launched. What did you launch first of all? Because like cash flow for a business is king, and when you don't have a job or a career or a business, like you got to get some money, right? So what was the first thing that you launched?
So the first thing was I knew I wanted to do some one-on-one coaching, and yet I didn't want to exclusively do one-on-one coaching, right? So my goal is like, hey, get 20 one-on-one clients right off the bat. That takes care of me, takes care of my family, and then I can go do everything else that I want to do. So it took me, I don't know, maybe 45, 60 days, somewhere in that range, to have where my schedule is full. And right now I have 25. Which is awesome, and yet I'm at the point where I don't want a whole lot more one-on-one clients. Like, I love the ones I'm working with, and I'm with them. You know what I mean? Like, I know their names, I know their kids' names. Like, it's not transactional. So much coaching out there is like transactional. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, agent 4732, like, did you do your stuff this week? And so, and like, I didn't want to have that kind of relationship. You know what I mean? So,
dude, so you went into this. You're like, okay, I got to get $25K a month as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah. Where did you come up with that number? You just like pull it out of your ass, or like?
Yeah.
Like,
no. So
$25,000.
Yeah. So that was my, like, hey, pays all my bills, pays for the lifestyle I want to have, pays my taxes, like, pays for everything, and it allows me to have some that I get to put towards the future. So that was just the first milestone. So, like, hey, get that first milestone taken care of, then we can do everything else, right?
Awesome. Cool, guys. So if you guys would like to learn how to quickly launch a business to where you're generating $25,000 a month in 60 days or less, give me some thumbs up, because, dude, that is – not many people can do that, right? But at the same time, like, what would you say is one of the key things that allowed you to do it so quickly?
So I think here's one of the things that I really got clear on early on was who my ideal client was. Like, I got really clear on who I wanted to work with. So I see a lot of people, like, no matter what business they're in, whether they're like a lender, realtor, whatever, and you go, like, I just want to work with everybody. What do? I sell houses to anybody, anywhere, always. You know, and it's like, that's BS. Like, are you kidding me? If somebody called you from Manitoba, you're not going to go show the house, right? So I got clear on who my client was. And that it took me a while, and yet getting really clear on who my client was, and then I knew who to go after. So I wasn't just scattering my energy all over the place. It's like, no, these are the people that I'm after. Here's what I want to do. Here's the impact I want to make, and I just went for it. And then there's this freaking massive lead generation. Like, it's not as it was just doing the work. Like,
so
doing
the work. So
right?
any business, right? Like, doesn't matter if it's a coaching company or if it's a real estate sales company, you know, which I'm involved in both, or if it's a retail business, like, you got to generate customers, right?
You got to do the work.
So what's so cool is, and you could probably do this 10, 15 years ago, launch a company in coaching and generate that, but you were going to have to hustle probably 10 times more, I would say then, because now we have digital media, right? We have digital marketing. So tell us how you've utilized that to help you, but it hasn't been the only, I guess it probably hasn't been the only thing that's driven your business, but it's been a great asset. Is that fair enough?
Yeah. Well, so I think it goes back to, like, my philosophy early on in real estate. What made me successful in real estate was I have this, for some reason it hit me one day that I saw agents, let me say it a different way. I saw agents doing one or two things. Either they put their name up in lights and did a lot of marketing, or they went out and shook hands. Right. So, like, or they grind out. So it's like, well, what would happen if I put my name up in lights and I shake hands?
Right.
So it's like, if I can do those, like, that would be everything. So for me, it's like Facebook and all this other stuff. That's how I tell my story. And then at some point, you got to freaking pick up the phone and actually build a relationship
and have a conversation.
I think you got to have a conversation. I see a lot of people in this social media thing that think that they don't have to have the conversations. It's still about relationships. It's just a different way of doing it. Yet you still got to have meaningful, epic relationships. And I think that's what's allowed me to do it. I didn't hide. I think you and I, neither one of us are attempting to hide behind social media. We're using it as part of the process. Not hey, if I do this, I don't have to do the other stuff.
Yeah. Well, I see it as this is if you can have attention on you, that's going to equal some sort of monetary value, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's people come to you for affiliate programs and sponsorships, or to sell your own products and your own services, right? So, I mean, you look at, you're good friends with Ryan Stewman, Hardcore Closers, right? I work really close with Bob and Fearless Agent. And one of the two things that, like, one thing I see both those companies have in common, and they're similar, you know, coaching training companies, right? Yeah. They have online appearances, they do all that, but still they've got on-phone sales happening, right?
Yes.
It's not like they're not having that get on the phone and have the conversation. They're on the phone, they're text messaging, they're emailing, they're doing all of the above.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what? And you just froze on my screen, dude. I hopefully that was my Wi-Fi, not yours. Did you know that it's called Wi-Fi? It's called Wi-Fi, not Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Did you look that up somewhere? Yeah.
No, I actually, you know, I watched on HBO that show called what's that called? Silicon Valley. Do you ever watch that show?
No. Do I need to watch it?
Dude, you gotta watch it. It's so freaking fun. It's these goofy, like, techie nerds that just keep launching, like, tech companies in Silicon Valley.
That's awesome.
It's hilarious. So, digital economy, right? Like, how has the digital economy, how has it shifted business forever? And how quick have you seen it shift business?
Man, I mean, one of the reasons that I reached out to you is to know more about it. I think you know more about this than I do. I think I'm just getting into it. And yet here's what I see. There's a whole lot of people that think they can ignore it. And like, dude, it's like you can't ignore it. You can't ignore that every single person spends a huge amount of time every day looking at Facebook. Yep. For sure. Like you can't ignore that anymore. That's where they are. And so I think and there's so much power in this. It takes a while to learn it, and yet this is where it's at. If you don't get this game, you're going to be left behind. At least in my opinion.
I think if you're not already on this game, you are left behind. Like, think about it, right? You are left behind if you're not already on this game. On even a small scale, moving forward, you look at how on YouTube, and my YouTube's got about 5,000 subscribers, right? But you're seeing more and more kids I call them kids, millennials under 30 years old, having 10 to a million subscribers, making anywhere from 6 figures to 7 figures through their digital economy, right? Through the digital currency as influencers, okay? And so what's cool is, like, I've met you in person, and you are just as weird in person as you on screen. On screen.
Yes, I'm a weird freaking dude. Just welcome to the party.
But that's what's so cool is it doesn't matter how weird you are. It like, people will connect with you. They'll resonate with you, right? Like,
and so here's what's funny, right? Like, years ago, and I still get this question sometimes. Agents ask me, they're like, should I have a professional Facebook page and a personal Facebook page? And what they're really asking is, should I have the fake me that I think everybody wants me to be, and the real me? And I'm like, dude, it's too late. Like people are gonna freaking find you out. You just better be you, and hopefully that works out, because, like, you can't fake it anymore. And you see people all the time. They try to fake it. They get on YouTube, right, and they go, "Hello, I'm this professional roles." It's like, people are like, "What? Who gives a crap?" Like, I want to know who you are.
And the home market value is going like this, and you know, that we blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Right, but here's what people want to hear. Here's what people want to hear. Here's why Grant Cardone's so successful. Ty Lopez. Ryan Stewman, right? It's because they're being real, right? Like, so I just launched Financial Freedom Nation, which is an amazing course. We're teaching people how to manage their cash flow, right? So they don't waste it. And what I've learned is, check this out. There's about 65 people that are in that course right now. Okay? And in that course, 90% of them are, they don't have a management system, financial management system. Of the 10% that do, they look at it less than 1 time per month. Right, so that's what's happening worldwide right now. That's not just people in that group. My point being is, guess what, guys? If you're watching this, you've got some cobwebs, some skeletons in your closet. You're gonna fuck up in the future. You're gonna make mistakes, but so is everyone else. And in fact, that's what people resonate with. Like, right? Like,
exactly.
So if you can say, dude, I've had these issues, like, and here's how I broke through. Here's what you can do. Now all of a sudden you're creating value.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's what people resonate with. And you know, I think it was I can't remember who said it the first time. Maybe it was Gary Vaynerchuk, and he said, "Your job is to tell a story." Like that. Our job is to tell a story. So stop making it up and just tell your story.
Tell your story.
Like today I was supposed to do this, and this didn't work out. And this didn't work out. Like, here's where I'm at, and like, here's what I'm trying to do to get back up.
Yep.
Just be you, and that's what people. I think that's what resonates with people. And if you suck, change.
Which a lot of you suck. I suck, man. Like, think about it. That's why I'm constantly working on my personal development. I'm working on these different areas, right? 6 months ago, I was well over 200 pounds. Today, I'm weighing in at 175 pounds because I was sucking at my health and nutrition. Right? And how simple of change that I made. I didn't do anything special, but anyone that watches and follows, they can do it as well. They can do it just as easy as I did. Right? So what's your kind of your overall plan with two things? One is what's your overall plan to use digital marketing, number one. Number two is follow-up question. What have you been able to launch since you did the one-on-one coaching programs?
So here's my mission in life. My mission in life is to empower other people to be their own hero. So I got to a point in my life where, and I told you this story, right? I freaking hit rock bottom and I nailed it. Right? Get back up. Exactly, Melanie. Right? So I got to the point where I nailed rock bottom. And what I realized was at that moment, nobody was coming to save me. And it wasn't that people didn't care. It's just that I had to save myself. So I'm on this mission. I want to empower 1 million people that go out and empower other people. I want to get 1 million people to go, you know what? Because of a conversation, because of a book I read, or because of whatever, it inspired me to become my own hero. And it wasn't just like, hey, be your own hero. Here's a bumper sticker. It's like, no, here's like the freaking steps to do this. Like I just finished writing. We just finished this book in a video series, which now the editors get to play with it. But we just finished it, which is the art of getting back up. Like when you get smacked down or when you get hit, whatever it is, like here's how you get back up. Like I want to empower people to freaking do this stuff. So I'm on a mission to empower people to realize that they've got that they're not stupid. They just need better tools. They're not dumb. They're just ill-equipped. People are just freaking ill-equipped. They're ill-equipped to deal with the shit. They're ill-equipped to deal with pain. They're ill-equipped to freaking get in a relationship. They're ill-equipped to deal with money. So my goal is to give them the tools so they can go do that. So they can be their own hero. I get a little passionate about it.
I love it. Take note, guys. Take note. And if you guys are resonating with what Wayne's talking about, click the share button. Give us yeses in the comments and give me some reactions so I can tell if the people I'm bringing on our interviews are helping you guys or not, right? But one of the things that I've noticed from whether it's guys like Wayne or anyone that I've interviewed, they have a mission, right? And I share my mission all the time, right? Create massive value for everyone, empower to take action, and then invite them to share the message, right? Like that's how it keeps the cycle going. And it's really the idea of be your own hero. I've said it for a long time. It's like you got to be your number one fucking fan because no one else is going to do it, right? Right. And we live in such a world right now with such chaos and more information exposing that chaos that if you don't do it, no one else fucking will. That's the reality.
Right. Yeah.
Think about this. 3 things, Wayne. At what point, because you just turned 29, right?
Again, 29 for the 6th time. It's this is totally working out.
Okay, so think about when you were growing up. You went. Did you grow up in Alaska? Is that where you grew up? Was Alaska?
I grew up in born in Kansas. Grew up in Canada. 10 years in Alaska. Like it's been a freaking confusing journey. Thanks for bringing that up. I'm the only guy that's saying a and y'all in the same sentence. It's a mess. Yeah.
Okay, so think about this. Growing up, going through school, learning from your parents, and I'm sure you had great parents. Yeah. And then, did you go to college or no college?
So I may have stretched the truth that I had graduated high school to get into college, and that 1 year of college was awesome.
Okay, so think about
I nailed that 1 year.
Going through high school, clear up to high school, and then your 1 year of college. And I made the mistake. I went 4 years, dude. I graduated. So who's the real loser here, right? So check this out. At what point did they teach you about health, about relationships, and about your finances?
Never.
And wouldn't you say that those 3 things are probably what govern your results in life for the most part?
It's huge. I mean, that's it. I mean, so I get on a call with a guy this morning, and we're talking about how he needs to go out and have some difficult conversations. And he's beating himself up because he's not able to have these conversations. And the reality is nobody freaking taught him how to have conversations.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's beating himself up going, I'm an idiot. What's wrong with me? It's like, no, dude, you just don't know. You just don't have the path. Like if I gave you the path, would you go take it? And he's like, shit, yeah, like I'm in, right? So it's just about equipping people, right? Nobody does this stuff.
Right? Yeah, it's the reality of it. I mean, I look back from when the first time I heard of the idea of financial freedom, I was 22 years old.
Yeah.
And then when I really hung on to the idea was I was about 27, 28 from a guy named Doug Nelson. And then once I got that path, the step-by-step, here's how you do it. Like literally in 4 years, I went from being like everyone else with a bunch of liabilities to the flip side of it where, well, shit, dude, I got a bunch of cash rolling in every month automatically, right? It was because I learned differently.
Exactly. Well, and one of the reasons, it's funny, Hank's on here. Love you, brother.
What's up, Hank?
One of the reasons that, and Hank and I said it because Hank and I talk about this all the time. One of the reasons that I launched the HeroNation Mastermind, which is an affordable call every single week for people to be on. One of the reasons I did that was to give people that stuff, right? To not just, let me say it this way. I felt like before I was a doctor that told people what they had wrong and then told them to go home and get better. Right now it's like okay, here's what's wrong, and here are the 7 things you need to do to go deal with this, and that's exactly what you're doing on the financial side. The reason I'm taking the financial course with you is I want to learn the steps better, right? I want to learn the actual steps instead of people be like, pay yourself first. Like what the hell? Like what does that mean? You know what I mean?
Right?
Like, and how do I do that? I only have $10. What are you talking about? So I think it's huge, and most of our parents didn't realize how to teach us this stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And so they were doing stuff, yet they weren't teaching us the lessons.
Well, not to mention, and my parents, they taught me awesome shit. They sort of supported me with everything and said, do the best at everything you do. So that was what I got from them.
Huge.
But where my parents grew up, they were, baby boomers. We're in a whole other fucking world now, dude. Like
totally different world.
A whole other world.
Yeah.
And what worked in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s, even the early 2000s, does not work today, right? Like
exactly.
So cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You were going to say something?
No, I was just going to say proof of that is back in the day, the harder you worked, the more money you made, right? The more hours you put in, the more money you made. And we see people all the time that are still rolling with that mentality, right? They're proud of it. They come in, they go, oh, I worked 80 hours this week. And they're kind of like beating their chest. And you and I are like, you worked 80 hours?
That sucks,
love you,
dude.
but you're an idiot. That's not how you win today. It's just not how you used to win, right? You worked more hours, you got paid more money. The game is flipped.
Dude, and I look at it like this. I don't look at it as work. I look at it as create value. 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, 367 days a year, like just all the fucking time. Who can I serve today? Who can I create value for today? Yeah. And the moment you do that, then all of a sudden, like a whole world of opportunity opens up for you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So real quick, just a plug for Hero Nation. Anyone can join. It's not just for realtors, right? Like it is for anyone, right?
Yeah. So here, let me rephrase it. It's not for anyone. It's for people that take responsibility in their life and are looking for strategies to reach their full potential. It's for people that are doing the work and yet they feel like, hey, how can I do this even better? Like I'm hitting some ceilings in my life, and it's like, how can I be a great mom and build a big business? Like how can I do both? And so it's those kind of strategies. It's not the place for people that want to be babies and whine all day. Like it's just not for them. It's the place for epic people to collaborate with other great people and live a big life.
Yeah, that's what it's about. Like when you get to the end of your existence and you're like gonna die, like do you want to look back and regret that you didn't go for it, or that you wasted your time, or you didn't go on that vacation, or you didn't have that relationship, or you didn't get your health together, right? Or do you want to be like, dude, I just lived a fucking epic life, dude. Let's go to the next realm. Let's go to the next world. Let's check that shit out, right?
Yeah.
So I got some cool news, by the way. So wait, before I tell you the news, where can they check out Hero Nation? Like, how can
it actually just launched our new page last week. So like, go there and like give me your feedback. Would be awesome. So it's just theheronation.com. So www.theheronation.com, and it's $97 a month for a call every single week. That's powerful, and our back end page and everything else. So it's plus you get access to all the stuff we're doing, like the 7 steps we just talked about. So it's it's some pretty cool stuff. Yeah.
What about the 11 steps? Do they get access to the 11 steps?
I don't know. I mean, we'll work on that. I keep adding steps, right? So it was like 7, then it was 10, then it was 11. I think it's like 15 now. Who knows? Yeah, we're getting there. So
anyone that joins today will also get shipped to their house a free egg full of silly putty that you can have on your dashboard.
Boom.
Guaranteed.
Yes. Amen. This is my sanity tool. You said I was weird. Here we go. Sanity.
Okay, so here's the good news, dude. So right now, my funnel partner, Greg, He's working on creating for all of Winning the Inner Game and Financial Freedom Nation. We will have affiliate links, dude. So here soon, probably about 2 weeks, we'll have those affiliate links for you. So I'm super stoked about that.
Well, and so talk about that. I mean, you blew my mind 6 months ago when we started talking about this stuff. And you said, what I remember what you said. You go, you don't have to make the product.
Yeah. And
find the products that you believe in that actually work. And then help the people that know you, like you, trust you, connect with those products. And I was like, my mind freaking exploded.
That was where I stumbled for so long, is because I had launched YouTube in 2011. My second video was Sideways. I had all these agents across the country talking to me, and like I had no products to sell them, and I kept thinking, dude, I got to sell my product. And I'm like, right, got none, right? But then I had the idea. I had been mentored from the beginning from Bob Leffler. He had an amazing product. I'm like, Bob, dude, here's the idea. Let's launch it. Boom. Took off, man. Like, just blew off. Like, I think in the last 15 days, we have signed up 22 new students for Fearless Agent. And we launched that in fall of 2014. So 3 years ago, like, I couldn't sell anything. Today, I have a product I believe in, and it's changing people's lives, right? So
huge.
If you guys are in my Financial Freedom Nation course, I know some of you guys are, stay in connection with me, because here in a couple of weeks, you can actually have an affiliate link as well, to where if it creates value for you, offer it to your friends and your family. They're going to sign up, go through the course. I'm going to train and share just like I'm training you guys. And then I'm going to share the revenue with you. Is that cool or is that cool? So if that is cool, give me some thumbs up, write yes in the remarks below. And do me a favor, if you are getting any value from today, whether it's live or recording, go ahead and click that share button for us. So
awesome.
Let's shift gears. We've talked about digital economy. And by the way, start asking questions below. We're going to get to some Q&A here in a little bit. So we talked about the digital economy. We've talked about that, and I know your background is real estate. Do you have some clients that are real estate agents, or are they not real estate?
So most of my clients, I mean, my clients are real estate agents. There are a lot of lenders. I've got several I've got people that own their, doctor practice. So it's a wide array, and it's similar to HeroNation, right? It's people that like want to go all in, people that want big results. So that's who I get to work with.
So you have experience, obviously, in the real estate industry. You had your sales team in Alaska, over 100 units a year there. You've coached with one of the top coaching companies on the planet, MAPS, right? Over 5,000 students and, 5 years of training. You have students now in mortgage. So you've got experience. Would you agree with me on that? You got some experience?
Yep.
Have you ever, and maybe you have, I don't know, have you ever seen a real estate market like this?
So I think it's an interesting market. It's a little tough to get the pulse on actually right now. And I see some of the people that I look up to the most around this are still struggling a little bit to put their finger right on it. So it's an interesting market.
It is. And if you are not confused about today's economy, then you are just like anyone that says they're not confused is lying to you. Turn and run the other way.
There you go. Yeah. Anybody that's like, hey, here's what's happening is probably lying.
Probably lying.
Yeah, exactly. Andy, would you agree with me? Yes, he knows this stuff. Yeah.
So what would you say then if to the real estate agents or even homeowners that are watching, because the real estate market, the stock market, I don't know if you know much about the stock market, all these things affect everyone, right? So what advice would you kind of throw out to these guys about that?
So I would say ask Colton Lindsay what his advice would be.
Well played. I would tell you my advice number one would be learn how to manage your money. Like,
amen.
That's most important.
So I think that's key. Learn how to manage your money, and really things are going to turn, right? I mean, things are going to shift. So what are you doing now to prepare for that? Whatever it looks like. And I remember one of my financial advisors. He goes, "We're going to start putting money away every single month into this who knows what's going to happen fund." And he goes, "This is like the opportunity fund, and this is the money that we're putting over here for an opportunity we don't even know exists yet."
Right.
He goes, because I've had so many people come to me over the years and go, "Man, if I had $50,000 right now, I could make this awesome investment or invest in whatever, and yet I could get it together in 60 or 90 days, but I need it right now."
Yeah.
And he goes, so he's helping people build that, and so they have that ability. So it's watch your money, it's pay attention, it's look for those opportunities.
And here's what I find so interesting, like to get to that point where you've got that, let's say 50 grand set aside. most people don't know how, when the money funnels in, how to funnel it out so that they can grow that 50 grand or go on the trip to Bahamas or buy a new car or pay their taxes. I mean, you know, how many realtors do you know that delay their taxes, right? How many business owners will file the extension, right?
All
of them, right? Like, I mean, it sucks. I had to just write a check for $32,000, but dude, I didn't have to file an extension. I ain't got heat on my back. I ain't got to get a repayment program, right? It's because if you learn to manage your money properly, you'll actually save money, right? Because you'll have tax incentives work for you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So what else?
So here's what's interesting. You know, one of the things around this financial piece was, I asked myself years ago, or I had the aha years ago, that I'm never going to out-earn stupid. like my thought was, if I just make a bunch of money, it'll make up for my lack of knowledge. And yet I realized, I'm not going to out-earn stupid. So what I asked myself was, what if I didn't have any money? What are the principles I want to teach my kids? And that kind of started me on this whole journey. And it's funny, I had one of my clients today. Their homework was send me the 8 principles you want to teach your kids. Right, and his principles were, money comes from what you do, from the value you give. Don't buy things you can't afford. Here's the difference between want and need. Here's how real estate investment works. It's not about how. One of his principles was, it's not about how much you make. My favorite one, this will apply to you, is tell your money where to go, so you don't have to go ask where it went.
Yeah, and then get told where you have to go, bitch. Right?
Yeah. And I thought, what a simple principle, right? How powerful is that? So where do you see the market going? I mean, what do you think is going to happen?
I know that it's fucking crazy, number one. And, I mean, I'll give you an example. I have a new listing today. It has 22 showings on it. It's a $300,000 price point. I'll have multiple offers on it. I just sold another listing for $480 within 2 days, full price offer. Right. So this isn't normal, right? And we are in our market higher than we were at the peak in 2006 and 7, right? So we're higher than there. And but not only that, is as many people as I network with around North America, Canada included, this is everywhere, dude. This isn't just in my market. Yeah. That's what's a little bit, and I don't want to say scary, because I mean, but it's something to be alarmed about. Yeah. And so it cannot go up forever, right? Yeah.
No. And here's the thing to remember, right? How many people said 6, 7, 5 years ago, whenever it was, they go, it probably happened everywhere else. We're safe. I traveled the country. I've talked to everybody. Everybody said our market is different. Now, literally, if everybody's saying their market is different, it's like somebody's got to be wrong, right? It's going to happen. And the last shift, do you remember how fast that was?
Yeah.
I mean, it was like Monday was cool. Tuesday was freaking where's the tires? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. I remember, because I was like, oh dude, it's Monday. I'm going to build this spec home, right? Let's dig, right? And then Tuesday it's like, well, shit, we're framing and no one's buying houses. And I'm in this house 350 and fuck, right? So I sold my first real estate investment was a spec home, was in at 352, sold it for 270. Oh. Yeah. So I learned, right?
Yeah. So prepare for it. One of the things that I have my clients do sometimes is I'll go, if you had to cut expenses tomorrow by 15%, what would you do? Now, I don't want you to do it. I don't want you to go fire. Don't do anything. Don't fire anybody. Yet I want you to go through your numbers and go, if tomorrow I had to cut my expenses by 15%, what would you do? So that way you have it prepared. It's pre-planning, right? You have a first aid kit in your house, not because you're running around with a knife. You have a first aid kit in your house because you go, in case somebody does get hurt, I'm going to have a way to help them, right? And I want you to do that in your business. I want you to start building some first aid kits so that, hey, if somebody does get cut or something does happen, you know what to do. Because in the storm, it's really hard to make great decisions. So you pre-plan for the storm.
And I did a live stream a few weeks ago. It's on my YouTube channel. It talks about the greed factor and the panic and fear factor, right? Mm-hmm. So right now we're in the greed factor. What are some indicators? Right. We've got more people getting licensed in real estate now than ever, and mortgages, right? We've got average people. By average, I mean, people that don't deal in real estate day to day. Okay, they're talking about real estate being hot, right? When grandma's talking about the real estate market being hot, that's a sign, right?
Yeah,
and so these are signs we're in the greed mode. And see, when I see people in the greed mode, and I saw this in 2011 in the silver market, right? I started backing off on buying silver because it went up clear up to $50 an ounce, right? We're trading at 17, 16 bucks an ounce now, because now is the time you should be backing up the truck and buying silver, right? Yeah. Now is not the time to be buying real estate. you should be buying different types of investments. Silver,
Yeah.
you should be stocking up on your cash value accounts.
Yeah.
What I would recommend too, like go through your personal or business budget, and anything that has a contract tied to it, start getting rid of those right now. Like if you have a 12, 24, 36-month contract, figure out how to renegotiate those, get out of them, cut them off. And then the other thing is once a month as you're going through, which I recommend you go through your budget model once a week, okay, but at least once a month, look and see, okay, where can I start to cut 10% of my expenses? And then decide, do I need to do it or not? Right. So you're always aware of it. And otherwise you're going to get caught with your pants down. Because guess what? When it goes fear mode, when everything starts dropping and you can't sell it fast enough, you're going to freak out, and then you're going to need to sell your assets and to try and just keep up ahead of the game. Right?
Exactly. I mean, and here's the indicator. I have my next door neighbor runs. In the past, he ran one of the largest hedge funds in the country. He's actually referenced in The Big Short. Like that's how big this dude was. And then lost everything. And right now he's a consultant for some of the top guys in the world. He's selling his house. Just about to list his house, selling his house because he goes, I'll rent for 12 months because then I'm gonna freaking clean up. And here's his indication. He goes, here's the indication. He goes, we're seeing more defaults in small businesses. And he says, that's one of the lead indicators. When the small businesses when those defaults really creep up, that's a good indication that something's gonna happen. So, and it's not, and here's the reality. You don't need to be afraid if you have a plan. Yeah. Right. You're not afraid if you have a lifeboat. Like you're going to be okay. So this isn't about fear. This is just about like, hey, just be prepared, right? Like I got a spare tire under my car. Not because I'm driving around going like, holy crap, I hope I don't hit a bump. It's like, no, like if something happens, I'm going to be okay. So it's not about being afraid. It's just like, let's plan for this stuff, right? This is what happens in the market. Get ready.
And I mean, I love nice things as much as the next guy, but at the same time, being in the industry that I'm in and with all my companies that I run and manage and lead, I know where a lot of people's incomes are based on what I can evaluate, right? And what I'm seeing based on what revenue is for companies and individuals and what their outgoing is on their lifestyle, people are getting themselves in some deep doo-doo right now, man. And when that does shift, you cannot drop your expenses as quick as the revenue. And so what happens is you then are panicking, trying to keep the payments going. So then you start to go to your cash savings, then you start to liquidate your assets, which happen to be dropping because the stock market just took a hit, right? You're selling your real estate for short just so you can get cash to pay the bills, right?
Yeah.
So
cash is king.
Be prepared. I think that I was when we were flying, when I was meeting you in San Diego at the Mastermind, I was sitting right next to the CEO of a company that was, his company manager was about $100 million a year company. So pretty big deal, right? He does a pretty big, and anyways, he was talking to me about the number one rule for a business owner that small business owners break all the time. Guess what it is?
What I had no idea.
They over leverage and they run out of cash, right?
Yeah.
They run out of cash.
Yeah. That's the only thing that shuts the doors to a business. I mean, reality, running out of cash is it. Yeah.
Yeah. So keep your cash on hand, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing for if you're a business owner, like no matter where we're at, you have one job. What's that one job?
Either bring in customers or take care of the customers you already have. Every dollar should go to one of those two things. Every dollar you spend should be either take care of my current customers or go get new customers.
Right. And if there's one thing, and you know, people might give me some shit for this, but I tell my team this all the time, right? Dude, I would way rather you let our customer service slack a little than let getting new customers slack, right? Because it's new customers is how we make money. This is how we stay in business. That's how we're able to have customer appreciation events. If we have no customers, we have no business, right?
Right. Yeah. Dude, that's it. That's it.
Cool. Yeah. Hey, Marcus Green. Do you know Marcus Green?
No, I don't think so.
Dude, you need to connect with Marcus freaking Green. And his brother just popped in, Matt Green. Okay, dude? So these guys,
I see everybody on my side, not everybody on your side. Like I see like John Murdoch, who's a freaking killer, and John, our video man of the year. Jordan, I promise I'll call you back. I've been slacking off. Tommy and Lee, I love these guys. Yeah. This is awesome.
Do you think that Facebook is so smart that it's telling you your friends and it's telling me my friends? What?
Dude.
That's cray.
Pay attention. It is crazy.
So
Awesome.
cool. And what else would you like to wrap about, or we can wrap it out? What do you want to do?
So, dude, I guess my whole question on this would be, where is right now? Let me just ask this: what are you learning right now? Where are you experiencing your gaps right now?
Dude, honestly, like my biggest gaps that I feel I've closed recently is one is money management is a rock star for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
My health is really on point right now, but and I hate to admit this online, where I really got to level up. That's where I got to be more focused on my family and with my wife. Like hands down, like I love my wife and she loves me, but neither of us were ever taught how to be married, right?
Yeah.
And so what we learned at the Mastermind was huge for me, right? And and it's an old book, but I recommend it if you haven't read it in a long time. It's Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, right? Like I am this dude that's like, go. Let's fucking have a solution. Let's fix it. Let's go. And she just wants to talk to me about the drama at the dance company, right? Like And I'm just like, well, dude, here's the solution. Like, we fix it. Boom, solved. And she's like, you never listen to me. And I was like, but what I realized is it's because I think differently. I do differently. And so it's not natural for me to just back up and just say yes. Yeah. And so therefore, I'm just putting all this pressure and vice versa, right? Yeah. So that to me would be like, for the next, like what I really want to master next, like I feel I've mastered the money game. I feel like I've really mastered my health right now and still growing on there, but I really want to master my relationship on a high level.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and here's the interesting thing. The relationship piece is one of the easiest ones to miss, right? Because especially those of you that are in a great relationship, right? And it's one of those ones where things happen slowly and then suddenly. If we're not careful, we talk about this Mastermind, right? When we start dating somebody, we're far apart, right? Then we get closer, then all of a sudden it's like, yay, right? We're awesome, let's get married, whatever, right? The problem is, if we're not intentional about it, we begin to drift apart, don't we? Yeah. We begin to just, it's not a choice. Here's the key. It's not a choice. It's an unconscious drifting. And if we're not doing that stuff to keep ourselves in a good place, you're going to get messed up. And nobody does teach us this. Nobody teaches us freaking epic strategies to be a great spouse. Most of us didn't, right? Either we had parents that nailed this and we kind of rolled on what they did, or they didn't. And my big aha years ago was, and I share this with you, going, man, I'll spend 20 hours a week getting better at my business. And did I spend any time getting better at being a dad or all these other relationships in my life? So I think there's 3 books you need to go read. You need to go read Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. Yep. You need to go read The 5 Love Languages. Yep. Right, which is huge. The golden rules treat people how you want to be treated. The platinum rules treat them how they want to be treated. And then the third one is this one. So the third one is Starved Stuff. And this one, if you have to deal with humans, like, you should read this book. So read those 3 books. Change your life. So
do you deal with a lot of humans in your business then? Is that pretty normal?
Yeah, I mean, most of them are humans. Yeah.
Most of them. Well,
sometimes they're not.
That's what's scary, like, and just kind of backing up to the first of this stream when we talked about, like, how do you really maximize your digital media? Right. Like, most people aren't going to get on a live stream with people that they don't even know and say, hey, dude, I got to level up in my relationship, right? They're going to hide it under the rug. And that's what I'm talking about. That's one way you can increase your social media following. But number 2 is becoming aware of it. Like, just admitting, like, here's where I need to get more clarity in my life is huge, right? Because you become aware of it, you can then find a model that you can want to follow after and duplicate it.
Yeah, well, and I think one of the things that you and I are becoming really, really aware of recently is how many, and this is especially true for dudes. I think, I mean, I'm a dude, so that's where I register. And especially for dudes, it's really, for most guys, it's shameful for them to admit they're struggling in their relationships. It's shameful for them to go, I don't know how to make this better, right? Yep. And it's hard for them to admit. It's hard for them to go to another dude and be like, hey, I'm like, it's awesome to, like, let's talk about the game last night. It's tough to be like, dude, my relationship sucks. Like, how do I do this? We don't do that enough, right? And we're freaking missing the boat.
Well, and I think with that too is, as well as, like, you don't want to be found, like, vulnerable. Like, I looked at this, I have had a fear of success. And I think there's 2 sides of that. One is like, okay, well, what if I fail? What if I literally go attempt something and I fail miserably? That's one side. But the other side of that is, well, what if I do succeed and now people see all my screw ups that I've had in the past and they start judging me, right? So you're stuck in this rock and this hard spot with this fear of success. And we trick ourselves. Maybe you can resonate, and if you guys watching can resonate. How often do we say we do business for our family, but then we get stuck in that 80-hour-a-week grind and we neglect them, but we say, oh, you know what, I'm making sacrifices for my family, right?
Yeah.
I fall into that trap, not necessarily 80 hours a week, but my head's always running. And instead of focusing on, you know, my wife wanting to talk about which dance company we're going to next, I'm talking about, dude, my YouTube channel and the new course that I'm learning, right? And so it's just stepping back. And then what happens if you get in that friction? I had this tendency, right? Or I still do. Yeah. Is that I want to start blaming, right? I want to say, dude, you just start leveling up and whatever it is, right? Yeah. Yeah. The moment I go into blame mode is the moment I put my fucking foot in my mouth. I got to back up and I got to say, wait a second, dude. Like, is it possible that, like, I'm the one playing the victim here? Like, is it possible that I'm the one that needs something to change? And most of the time it is.
99% of the time it is. It's us. Yeah. Yeah.
So cool. John Murdoch, and I don't know if you can see this. He said, keep dropping fire. John, if this is creating value, hit that share button. Boom. What % of your income, he says, are you saving while waiting for the next market correction? And I think what's important, like, for me, it's not preparing necessarily just for the market correction. It's just the cash flow system that I follow. So currently I put 15% into what I call my financial freedom account. That's where I just reinvest to buy geese that lay golden eggs, passive and residual income, right? Then I have long-term savings, which currently I just dropped it down to 9% because my revenue is so high. Dude, I don't need $75,000 a year just on freaking blowing, right? You know what I'm saying? So I've been dropping that down a little bit. Yeah. And then the other thing that I've been increasing is my education account, so I can spend more money on educating. So I don't think it's setting money aside just for a market correction. I think it's just get used to putting money in a flow that you can live life on your terms. That's what is more important, in my opinion. This idea of savings is you're a loser if you're saving, right? Because you still got to be in this market, right? Like if your money is sitting on the sidelines 100%, you're losing gains based on inflation. I mean, if you set it in the checking account,
and you have multiple buckets, right? And buckets are going to do different stuff because I have a bucket that is just savings, and yet it's saving for that epic opportunity. I'm getting returns on everything else, right? And yet 90% of you've got to do great stuff with the other percentage of it. Yeah, just saving for the sake of saving. It's crazy.
You take, and in my Financial Freedom Nation course, I teach 10% for your financial freedom account, right? Yeah. But inside of that 10%, like you're putting it aside, there's separate buckets inside of there, right? Like I've got money in the stock market. That's one bucket. I've got money in real estate. That's one bucket. I've got money sitting in a cash value account. That's one bucket. I got money sitting in silver. That's another bucket, right? And each one of those buckets, which kind of make up your portfolio, there's a calculated reason and risk versus reward of why it is in each section. But guess why people aren't doing that? Why? You don't know what you don't know, man, right? Like you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. Or they're waiting to do it.
Well, and they're waiting to do it because they don't know how impactful that is. I want you to think about the power of compound interest, right? Like Napoleon Hill teaches this so clear. Time is either your best friend or your worst enemy, right? The longer you take to start getting your money paying you, the less money you're going to make over your lifetime. And do you know the #1 fear for people in the United States right now?
Retiring without any money.
Yeah,
not having enough money, having more life than money. Right? They're going to live longer than they have money to do.
It used to be that people feared death, right? It's no longer the biggest fear anymore.
Isn't that crazy?
It blows my mind.
Yeah.
So speaking of, if you guys want to learn how to manage your cash flow like a fucking rock star, go, and I'll put the link here. In fact, it might even be right here. I'll put the link in later. And you guys got to join the Financial Freedom Nation. Yes, and that is totally not the post that I just put in. So that sucks. I did post a career opportunity, though. So if you guys are looking
there you go. We're just copy and pasting like crazy. Yeah.
So, but one thing is for sure, I am hiring a WGR media director, too. Did I tell you this? My next hire?
I did see it on Facebook.
35 to 40 hours a week. All they are doing is dominating our digital media. That's all we're going to do.
They're telling the story.
Yeah, I want people to log on Facebook and be like, oh, there's fucking Colton again, right? Like, there he is, right? Oh, there he is, 42 Insta stories in the last 20 minutes. You know, I want people to not be able to get rid of me online.
Yeah, I remember saying that about Ryan, Ryan Suman years ago. Somebody's like, man, that guy's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, love him or hate him. You can't ignore him. Right? Like either you love the guy or you hate the guy, but you sure freaking know he's around. So and that's it, right? You have a newspaper that everyone's reading. Like, you should put some stuff in there.
And you own it. You own it.
And you own it. Yeah.
Right? Like you own
Yeah.
your channel. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And so dominate that channel.
Boom.
Speaking of, dominate this channel by clicking that share button. Okay, man.
There you go.
I got to start rolling out. Totally
You're awesome.
Appreciate
Me too.
you. One more plug for Hero Nation. I get a little confused, a little ahead of myself.
There you go, me too.
Hero Nation, anyone that signs up today, Wayne will personally send you Silly Putty. But you have to sign up by midnight Central Time tonight to get that free Silly Putty. Okay?
There you go. And I'll send you a Hero Nation band. There you go.
Boom. And if you guys want to take your real estate career to a whole nother level that's effective and the most affordable and efficient coaching and training on the planet, go to fearlessagent.com and get started immediately and learn how you can make more than enough money to take advantage of this shift that's coming our way. Cool?
Boom. Boom. Here we go. Love you, man.
Here we go. Boom.
Freaking rock. Appreciate you, dude.
See you, man.
See you out.